Hello, this is quarter 2, week 2, and today we're going to be talking about phrases, clauses, and sentences. Now, you don't have to write this down, but when you were younger, you started by learning your letters. That's the first thing we learn. Then we learn how to put letters into words. Soon you're putting words into phrases, phrases into clauses, and clauses into sentences. When you mastered sentences, we began writing paragraphs, and now we're working on putting paragraphs into essays or stories. So there's a way that things build up. So words make up phrases, phrases make up clauses, clauses make up sentences, and sentences make up paragraphs. So you might be asking, what is a phrase? A phrase is a group of related words. It is not a complete sentence. So, you could say, in a cage, which is a prepositional phrase because it starts with a preposition in. You could say, to buy a car, which doesn't have a noun in it, so it definitely, well, it has a noun, but it doesn't have a subject, so it can't be a sentence. That's what we call an infinitive phrase. And then riding the bike is what we call a gerund phrase. You don't really need to know what type of phrases these are. I just put it in there because I think extra information is helpful. But phrases are not sentences. They're just related words. Now, a clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb. It may not be a complete sentence. Sometimes it could be, but a lot of times, especially if it starts with what we call a conjunction, it can have a subject and a verb without being a complete sentence. For example, when mom comes home from work. Mom is a noun or subject. Comes home from work could be a verb phrase. However, that's not a complete sentence. When mom comes home from work is not a complete thought. So, it is just a clause. It is not a sentence. And finally, a sentence is a group of words that tells a complete thought. It must have a subject and a verb. Alright, so for vocabulary this week, our first word is mourn. To show great sadness because of a loss. The man continued to mourn the loss of his wife long after the funeral. Your second word is contaminate. To make something dangerous, dirty, or impure by adding something to it. My food was contaminated when the server sneezed on it. So if you contaminate something, you either add a chemical or some germs or some dirt or something to make it bad. Dispute is just another way to say fight or disagreement. The long-standing dispute between the tribes caused many young men to go to war. Pronunciation. This is how a word is said. When learning a foreign language, pronunciation is always difficult. And we've already talked about this one in class, that to infer, or to make an inference, is to reach a conclusion based on evidence. So, based on the man's blue uniform, I inferred that he was a cop. This is the end of today's note session. Please write your 20-word summary. Make sure you've labeled today's notes with quarter 2, week 2. And place this inside the prongs of your grammar folder behind all previous sets of notes. You can also check it off on your table of contents. And this is a picture of my dog, Elsa. This video is particularly short, so I thought you might be interested, and everybody deserves to look at cuteness once in a while. And I hope you have an excellent day.